I'm going to share a video I found on Facebook, but here's the TLDR. The guy says, if you got ADHD, you need 3 kinds of rest. And he went on too long, so here's the short version. You need sensory rest, you need spiritual rest, and you need creative rest. All right, you probably know this. The way I know it is, get the F away from me. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm in my like little docking station. And anybody coming near me or wants to talk to me, I'm like, rah. Okay? That's a sign that I'm trying to take my rest. I don't actually communicate this very well to anybody. I don't really know I'm doing it. What I do know is that on autopilot, I see my little comfy chair that's got the side walls so nobody else can get on there with me. And I curl up into it and I grab my phone and oh my goodness, it's like, just let me scroll, let me veg, let me whatever. I love watching YouTube shorts. I don't care what they're about. They're just sensory deprivation. You know, I'm not watching sensational stuff. I'm watching like simple, calming voices of people cooking or fishing or sewing or whatever, right? So I won't go on and on, but you know, the other one is noise canceling earbuds changed my life, and I'm frustrated that I didn't find out that this was going to be a thing. I just tried it out at Thanksgiving at the dinner table with the 15 people and everybody talking over each other and the kids and all the things that usually make me really, really irritated. And I put them in and I got the look, you know, from my dad, but I was like, I'm going with this. And I was like, oh my gosh, it takes like 70% of the sound away. And yet I can still hear people talking, but somehow the sensory overload is just gone. And I'm like, you mean I could have just not been an a-hole my whole life if I could have just turned the volume of the world down? What the heck? Talk about resentment, you know, at like fate or whatever. And then the third one, spiritual rest. I'm like, don't tell me to meditate. Don't, please. Like, if meditation is for me, I don't want to hear it from somebody who starts with, you just need to meditate or meditate. Because I'm like, dude, if you have ADHD and you sit down to meditate, and you think it's supposed to be some sort of like calm, serene, quiet time, for me, it's a wild, crazy time. When the brain gets all its, you know, attention that, you know, whatever. When everything else is quiet and the brain is just the only thing on stage, it's a wild and crazy time. Now, what Mark Coleman suggested is that we just watch the brain be crazy and go nuts and question and observe everything and call that mindfulness meditation. It's like, all right, that's different. That's different than count your breaths. Count your breaths. 1, 2, you know, I'm gone. So Mark Coleman did say that the longest anybody can count their breaths is 2 breaths. I don't care if you disagree or not. It's just worth considering that even the pros who are meditating have a challenge with staying on the breath. I think the whole point of meditation seems to be just paying attention to trying to pay attention for 10 minutes, which I'm like, why would I do that? That sounds terrible. I would never begin if all I'm supposed to do is sit there and watch my brain do cartwheels. You know, ooh, a squirrel. Everything is a squirrel. The brain is like, I can see squirrel-like fascination in everything. So now I went on and on. I'll share the video. I'll put the video on fast forward, but you know, whatever. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Just trying to help the ADHD folks. We're not alone. We're a group. We're people. Nobody gets us but us. Many people think we're lazy. Many people think we just have poor willpower. Many people think we just don't try enough. Many people think we're quitters. People think we just make up excuses. Many people will say, oh, everybody's got it tough. Why, you know, basically, why do you get to call it something and the rest of us just have to deal? You know, maybe they're ADHD and they don't want to admit it. A lot of people have ADHD and don't want to admit it. A lot of people do. So those are the people who are going to be like, why are you taking care of yourself and defending yourself from the world when I won't do it or can't do it, right? What was it? Mel Robbins or one of those folks said the reason we get so upset at other people is because they have the audacity to try something and we are not willing to try. We don't feel we are allowed to, you know? So if people are like me starting to say, you know what? I got ADHD. I'm not using that as some sort of like, you know, catchphrase. I have a diagnosis. I cannot do what you're asking me to do. And I don't care how much you look at me with that look. I don't care how much You try to rationalize, reason, or argue, the garage floor is where the thing goes. Even though I know it doesn't go on the garage floor, and you know it doesn't go on the garage floor, the thing goes on the garage floor because there is some magical force at work that says, I have to put it down right there. It's a compulsion. It is, I have a feeling that obsessive compulsive disorder, autism, and ADHD are all living in a very similar place in the brain. Because when I have something in my hand and I want to put it where I think it goes, sometimes that thing goes somewhere else and it must go there, or what will happen, I don't know. Whenever I've ever heard about what it's like for a person with OCD to triple, quadruple, wash their hands, they're not deciding shit. They are washing their hands at the direction of something that they don't have control of. There is a other entity, a other thing driving it. Now, if you ever look at conscious and subconscious mind, if you ever look at any of those fun little documentaries like on Nova about the people who have had their left and right lobes of their brain separated and how they completely have no idea why they answer the questions the way they do, because the other eye saw the thing but did not communicate it to the vocal brain, the speaking side of the mind. But they somehow are both privy to the same information. Both halves are. Somehow, one side knows something that the other side doesn't know. Sorry, I'm not being that clear. Put it this way. They showed one side of the one eye. This dude got the word Texas. That's the side that eye saw the word Texas. The other, then they said, draw what you saw. And the guy drew a cowboy hat. He does not know why he drew a cowboy hat. His psyche associates the symbol of cowboy and Texas together. The word Texas and the symbol for cowboy, like cowboy hat. So you have a symbolic and completely nonverbal portion of the brain that does make, itself known through behavior and thoughts, symbols, and meaning of things. So anyway, the point is like, you got a complicated part of yourself that's not able to be viewed by the part you say, I am me. I am me and I know me. And I say that in English. My inner monologue is in English. I only understand my inner monologue if I form my sentences correctly, right? But where did those ideas come from that built the sentence, right? We don't think of the next word when we say a word, right? I don't speak like, I am hungry. No, we have a complete understanding of hunger and then the words follow, because there's a part of us that does not need any language at all and is communicating to the whole instantaneously through whole pictures. Whole complete ideas are instantaneous. And not only are they instantaneous, but they may be eternal. But they may be turned on. And that's where I really think this compulsive part of ADHD, which is the compulsion to not put something away, the compulsion to put something on the floor instead of the shelf, the compulsion to just give up and come back to it later or never, the compulsion to just sit down and go to Amazon and buy the thing rather than try to find the missing thing, and the compulsion to not open the box when it arrives on the porch, are all things that are always there. In my opinion, they're always there, but they are turned on in the moment and we don't understand why. That's my take on the executive dysfunction, or the executive function, the inability to take action on the thing I want to do. There's that fella that's on Instagram that says, I know I need to do the task and I want to do the task, but I cannot, for some reason, do the task. Those are the things I'm talking about. All right, I'll shut up now. Thank you for listening. Bye.
is by resting. You try to put the ways that you try to get out of burnout is by resting. You try to put it off by resting too. And yet a lot of neurodivergent folks don't seem to know exactly how to rest properly. And I mean that we have different resting needs than the general population. So I'm going to talk about 3 types of rest that ADHDers and autistics can experience that may not at first seem like rest. And I'm Sol Smith. I'm the author of the Autistic Guide to Self-Discovery, and I run the NeuroSpicy community where we run all sorts of support groups for neurodivergents. Okay, number 1, sensory rest. Going on some kind of a sensory detox is a great idea. And it is essential that you have the knowledge and awareness of which senses are really bothering you, which ones are emphasized and are irritating you. So having noise-canceling headphones is one of the biggest possible accommodations you can give yourself. I understand that they are expensive, but they are really worth everything that you can afford to spend on them because they make such a game-changing effect when you can just shut things off. Sensory rest can also be lying with a blindfold over your eyes. It can be a sensory deprivation tank if those are still around. All of these different ways that you can just try to get your senses to take a break is going to feel very restorative. Number 2 is creative rest. Autistics and ADHDers have a need for self-expression. I'm not kidding. This is a really important thing. Our experience in life is not reflected in the world around us, and we have this need to express ourselves. You can do this through writing. You can do this through music, dance, fiber arts, knitting, sewing, weaving, all kinds of different ways. But any kind of self-expression, any kind of creative rest can be very restorative. And sometimes you don't feel like you're up for it, but you kind of have to nudge yourself into it because once you engage with it, it may be really hard to get out of, and that can be a lot of fun. And number 3 is spiritual rest. And I'm not saying that you need to go join a religion or anything like that. I mean something purposeful, something that you find is meaningful to you and that is addresses your being. So obviously meditation, yoga, exercise, these things can be a form of spiritual rest. Doing service for others, volunteering somewhere can be a form of it. But the idea is to prioritize this notion of having a greater purpose and having a different view than your normal